Hi, I'm Tash and welcome to your practice. Today we're going to be working on opening the front body and diving into some deeper back bends. So we'll start in seated, find a comfortable position, lengthen up through the crown of the head and gently close the eyes. Feel the ground beneath you, sit bones rooting, crown of the head rising. And begin to settle into the rhythm of your breath. Feeling each new breath in, bringing waves of energy, of prana. And each breath out, detoxifying your entire body. Slightly deepen your breath here, filling the lungs as you inhale and detoxifying as you exhale. Spending these first few moments checking in with how the body feels, how the breath feels today. And setting an intention for your class. An intention is something we can work through on a deeper level. But it could be something super simple, like following the breath, being kind to your body. Take a deep breath in here to that intention, fill the lungs. Exhale, open the mouth and sigh out. Gently open the eyes when you're ready. Take a breath in, press the hands into the knees, lift up through the chest, push the collarbones forwards. Take a breath out, round through your spine, spread the shoulder blades on your back and curl in. Look towards the earth or your belly button. Inhaling, coming forwards, undulate through the spine, sit tall, press the breastbone. Really nice. Exhaling round through the spine, curl in. 2 more times. Inhaling. And exhaling. Finding that movement with your spine. 1 more time. Breathing in. And breathing out. Rolling onto all fours here. Finding fingers spread wide underneath you, knees directly underneath the hips, and then taking a breath in this position. Back of the neck is nice and long. And then beginning to move in a way that feels good. So undulating backwards and forwards. Breathing through the nose. Perhaps circling the rib cage, moving the hips backwards, forwards. No right or wrong way to move here as you find a wild cat-cow. Perhaps the hands or the feet even come off of the mat as you breathe here. You may even like to close down your eyes and connect inwards to the breath. And then gently finding your way back into a neutral spine. Tuck all 10 of your toes. Lift up nice and easy into downward facing dog. Keeping the knees bent here. Pressing the earth away from you. And then shaking the head to release the neck. 5 breaths here. Lifting the pelvis towards the sky. Slightly scoop up through the belly. See if you can find a place of stillness with the gaze, drishti between the feet. 2 more breaths. Take a breath in, bring the knees as slow as you can back towards the earth, hovering them slightly off of the ground. Make sure your shoulders are over the wrists. Take another 2 breaths. Finding that space in your body, nice and easy. And then breathing out and settling back down. You can untuck the toes here if that feels uncomfortable. Take a breath in, reach that right leg behind you. Kick out through the heel. Find length. As you exhale, rounding through the spine, knee towards the nose. Taking a breath in to reach out. And a breath out to reach the knee towards the nose. Breathing in one last time. Breathing out, see if you can step that right foot between your hands, pressing into the right foot, reaching up for a low lunge. Finding some space here in that left hip flexor. Finding length and space in the side body. You can choose to look wherever you like with the gaze, perhaps up. 3 more breaths. On your next exhalation, bring the hands slowly back towards the ground. See if you can curl that right knee in towards your nose. And then as you inhale, reach the right leg behind you and reach it up as far as you can away from you. So we're getting the spine in here. Dip the belly towards the ground. Point the toes and lift that leg a little bit higher. Stay with your breath. Really nice. Last one. Take an exhalation and bring that knee back down as slowly as you can. Take an inhale and round through the spine, and then take an exhalation here again. Coming back into neutral when you're ready. Same thing on the other side. Inhaling left leg towards the back of the room. Exhaling left knee towards the nose, rounding in. Inhaling, reaching out and away. Exhaling, rounding in, press through the hands one more time. Inhaling, extend. And exhaling, see if you can step that left foot between the hands. Press into the left foot. Rise up to a high lunge. Low lunge, sorry. Reaching the arms up. Find space in that right hip flexor. You can choose to have the hands on your hips if that feels better for your shoulders today, or to reach them up. Taking another deep breath like this, finding the space in your body, not forcing anything. Then as you exhale, let's place the hands back down, scoop up through that left knee, inhale, dip the belly button towards the ground and lift through that left leg, pointing the toe. So we're working into the muscles of the back here, lift higher, breathe. Take another breath. And then as you exhale, bringing that foot back towards the ground. Inhaling, lifting the hips back to your downward facing dog. And then as you exhale, staying here. Inhaling, bending the knees to look forwards. Take a big step to get towards the front of the mat. Lift through the heart space, look forwards. Inhale. Exhale to bring yourself down. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Inhale, press the feet into the earth. Rise up, reach up to standing. Exhale, bring the hands to your sides for mountain pose Tadasana. Surya Namaskar. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, folding to the earth. Inhaling, extend your spine, look forwards, fingertips on the ground. Exhaling, step it back to plank pose. 5 breaths here, feet together, heels reaching away from the crown of the head. 1. Press the earth away. 2. Find space here. 3. Nice and easy. 4. As you exhale, 5, bring your knees to the earth. Scoop your elbows towards the back of the mat, come all the way down to the ground. Untuck your toes, take an inhalation, lift through the shoulders, elbows towards the back of the mat. Breathing here. Engage your kneecaps, scoop up through the belly. And then exhaling, chin back towards the earth, push up through your knees, back to downward facing dog. Breathing here. can you find that place of stillness and still feel the movement of your breath? Gently bending the knees to look forward, stepping or jumping your feet to the front of the mat. Inhaling, lifting through the heart, look forward. Exhaling, bending all the way to the earth. Inhaling, rise up, press through the feet, reach up. Exhaling, hands to your sides in Tadasana, take a breath. Inhaling, reach up. Exhaling, fold forwards, take your time. Inhaling, lift through the heart space. Exhaling, step back to plank pose. Take a breath in here, and as you exhale, come down to Chaturanga pose. Inhaling, lift the heart space, upward facing. Exhaling, chin to chest, downward facing dog. Breathing here, find your drishti, your gaze point. 3 more breaths. Next inhalation, bending your knees to look forward, step or jump your feet to the front of the mat. Take a breath in here, lift the heart space. Breath out to fold forwards. Breathing in, reach all the way up, rise up. Breathing out, hands to your sides. Take a breath in Tadasana. Come back to your intention. One last time here. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out, folding forwards. Breathing in, extend the spine. Breathing out, step it back to plank pose. Breathing in, breathing out, Chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing. Exhaling to downward facing dog. Take a breath in here, bend through the knees. Begin to scoop your belly in and roll forward super slow to plank pose. As you exhale, bend your knees, lift back up to downward facing dog. So we're taking these sun sweeps into plank. Inhaling and exhaling. 2 more in your own time, finding the rhythm of your breath. Scooping through the spine. And then meeting back in downward facing dog when you are ready. Find that deep breath. Then take a breath in, lift your right leg towards the sky, keep the knee facing the earth. As you exhale, round the knee towards the nose, crunch forwards. Inhaling to reach up. Exhaling, right knee towards right elbow. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, round that knee towards your nose, and then this time step it through your hands. Inhale, rise up slowly to high lunge, hands in the heart center. So take a moment here. You can bend that back knee. You could bring your hands to your heart. You can cactus your arms, do what feels good. Elbows in line with the shoulders. 5 breaths. Steadiness and ease. Reaching up if it feels good. Last breath here. As you exhale, bring your hands behind you. Clasp your hands the way you don't normally clasp them. Take a breath in here, lift through the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades, lifting up through the breastbone. As you breathe out, begin to shift your weight forwards over that front knee, coming into a humble warrior. dipping your right shoulder in towards your right knee and lifting your arms up. Don't worry if your arms don't come as far as mine. See if you can work into the strength of that right leg. Let the head hang loose. Breathing here. 2 more breaths. You can do it. Stay with the breath. And then as you exhale, releasing your hands, bringing them to the inside edge of your right foot, heel-toeing your right foot out to the side. So options here, you can keep that left knee up behind you. You can lower it to the floor. We're going to stay for 5 breaths. Keep the right leg nice and active. You also have the option to come down onto your elbows here if you feel you have the space. I'm going to stay nice and easy with my hands on the earth. Can you find your breath here? And then as you exhale, release that left knee if it's not already down on the ground. Take a breath in here and reach your right arm up towards the sky, finding a twist. Keeping the foot that's behind you active. So we're going to come into a twist here. As you exhale, begin to shift your left hip more towards the ground. Keep that left hand on the earth and maybe hug your right knee. You can stay here, working into the hip. Or for some of you, you might shift your weight forwards again and grab a hold of that back foot with your right hand. Just working into what feels good. You might still have the foot on the earth. Taking 3 more breaths, breathing deeply. Last breath here. As you exhale, gently release that foot. Bring your hands back to the center. Keep your back knee on the ground. Scoop up through your right knee again. Take a breath in, come into that tiger pose, lifting through the right leg as high as you can. So you can stay here, or you might be able to balance on your right hand and reach your left arm behind you, grabbing a hold of the ankle and maybe kicking out through that ankle here, opening through the shoulder and breathing. Don't force your body, stay with the breath. You might find that you wobble. Take another breath here. And then as you exhale, bring that left hand back down. Tuck your toes of your left foot. Lift up into a 3-legged downward facing dog. Breathing in. Breathing out. Open the hip of your right leg. Kick that right foot up towards the sky. And then an option to bend that right knee. You can stay here, or you might begin to tip the weight of your right foot over towards the side. Lift up through your right hand. Super slow motion. Bring that right foot down to the ground behind you into a wild thing. Opening through the chest, pressing through the pelvis, engaging the glutes. Breathing in, slow motion, we'll come back to the center. Bring that right hand back to the ground. Step it back to plank pose. Breathing in here. As you exhale, come all the way down to the floor. Bring your hands out outside of your mat. Take a breath in here, TP the hands. Lift through the chest. And as you breathe out, come back down, draping your body over the mat. Breathing in. Breathing out. 2 more times. As you breathe in, can you press into the fingertips but use the strength of your back? And as you breathe out, can you super slow motion come back down? Bringing the hands back underneath the shoulders, pushing back up into downward facing dog. Take a breath in through the nose and a breath out through the mouth. Breathing in, left side, lift the left leg high. As you exhale, bring the left knee towards the nose, round the spine. Breathing in, extending upwards, lift the leg. Breathing out, bring the left knee towards the left elbow. Inhaling to reach it up and away. Exhaling to step that left foot forwards. And then inhaling when you're ready, coming up into your high lunge. So again, option to bend that right knee here. And then you have your options with your hands. Maybe you inhale and reach the arms up, extending through the spine. 5 breaths here. Can you come back to the rhythm of your breathing? Taking your next exhalation to clasp your hands behind you the way that you normally would. Inhaling here, slowly scoop through the front of the body. Exhaling here, folding forwards over that left knee. Coming down, left elbow grazes the left knee. And then reaching the arms up. You may not be as low as me, this may look really different, just work with your body today, what's going on for you. Taking 2 more deep breaths here, powering out through that left leg. Nice and easy, exhaling, come back down with both hands. Heel toe that left foot out to the side, and then do the same thing that you did on the other side. So maybe you had the knee down, maybe the knee was up, but you had the elbows on the ground. Work the same way on this side of your hip. Breathing here, back of the neck nice and long. Just taking one last breath here, settling into your body. Can you breathe out here and gently release that back knee down? Take a breath in, keep the right hand on the floor, reach up with the left, find an open twist. And then hugging that left knee with your right arm, dip the right hip towards the earth. You can look behind you here if that feels good. Just feel the opening in the pelvis. And you might like to stay there, or you could shift your pelvis back to the center and then reach that left arm behind you to grab a hold of the right foot. Maybe you don't today, and that's okay. Maybe your body feels really different to another time of the week. Working with your body and still breathing. One last breath here. On your next exhalation, come back down with both hands. And then lifting again through that left knee, reaching the leg up and behind you, perhaps shifting the hands back slightly. And you can stay exactly here, or you might reach that right arm to grab a hold of the left foot and come into your tiger pose. Maybe you wobble slightly. Maybe you can kick the foot into the hand. Breathing here. Just one more breath. And then as you exhale, come back into your tabletop position. Sit your hips back towards your heels and allow your forehead to rest down. Child's pose. See if you can melt down towards the earth. Come back to your breathing. Next inhalation, back into your tabletop, and then come into plank pose. Breathing in here, exhaling to chaturanga. Inhaling upward facing dog, exhaling downward facing dog. Take a breath in here, lift that left leg high. And then opening the left hip like we did on the other side, bending the knee, and you could stay here just working into the opening of the hip. Or you might begin to tip some weight over to that right hand, and super slow motion, bring that left foot towards the ground, and reach over with your right arm for wild thing. And you still breathe here wherever you are. Inhaling, come back to center, lift through that left leg one more time. Exhaling, step the left foot and then the right foot forwards. Take a breath in, lift through the chest, make sure the feet are hip distance apart. And then bring your peace fingers onto your big toes. Inhaling here, lifting up. Exhaling, folding forwards into your forward fold. Nice deep breaths here. Let the weight of your head sink towards the earth. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Take 2 more breaths. Inhaling, lifting up, looking forwards. Exhaling, stepping back to downward facing dog. Inhaling, looking forwards and coming through to seated, preparing for Navasana boat pose. So let's bring our hands underneath our knees and point our toes. Lift up through the spine, and then inhaling, come into boat pose. You can keep your hands supporting your knees, or you might like to reach your hands forwards. 5 breaths. Can you deepen your breath, even in these challenging poses? Last breath here. Gently crossing your shins, bring your hands to the earth. See if you can lift up through your seat. Maybe one day your feet come with you. Exhaling, come back down. Inhaling, come back into Navasana. You may have your hands supporting your knees. You may reach your arms forwards. So working with the core is a really great way to support the back. The back and the core muscles work really well together. So we're just warming up the body, preparing for our back bends. Stay with your breath. Crossing your shins again, lifting up through your seat. Maybe your feet can come with you. Exhaling, come back down. Inhaling, last round. You may like to straighten your legs. You may still be here. Let's see where we can stay with no force. Check in with what's happened to your breath. Can you make the next 2 even longer than your last? Next time you exhale, cross the shins. This time plant the hands on the earth. Step back to plank pose. Take an inhalation here. As you exhale, come all the way down to the earth. Take a breath in here. Reach both of your hands forwards, palms facing each other. Bring your forehead to the mat and glue it down. And then as you inhale, lift your right arm up and see if you can lift your left leg simultaneously. Lift the leg high, breathe. And then exhaling, release right leg, right arm, left leg. Inhaling, lift right leg, left arm. Keep the forehead glued to the mat. See if you can lift a little bit higher, point the toes, reach forward, someone stretching you. Exhaling, come back down. Inhaling, we're going to lift both legs, both arms. See if you can lift as high as you can. Press the glutes. Squeeze your belly button. Breathing here. 2 more breaths. And then as you exhale, make a pillow with your hands. Look over to one side. Breathing. Relax. Inhaling, coming back to center. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Lift up through the head and shoulders again. And then this time see if you can lift through your hands. Back of the neck is nice and long, peering down at your mat. Knees lifted off of the ground. Stay for 3. 2, where's your breath? And 1. Exhaling, look over to the other side. Make a pillow with your hands. Inhaling this time, chin to the ground. Clasp your hands the way you don't normally clasp them behind you. Take a breath in here as you lift up through the shoulders. Squeeze through the shoulder blades and imagine someone was pulling your hands backwards towards the back of the mat. Legs engaged, glutes switched on. Option to stay here or for 3 more breaths. See if you can lift your feet off of the earth as well. Squeezing the feet together. Lifting up a little bit higher, breathe. 2. And 1. Super slowly melt yourself back to the ground. Make a pillow with your hands. Relax. You could sway your hips from side to side. Take your time. Bring your hands back under your shoulders. Lift back up into your downward facing dog pose. Taking a breath in through the nose and a breath out through the mouth. Next, exhale, bring both knees back to the ground. And then sit back on your heels. Preparing for Ustrasana, camel pose. So you might like to have your toes tucked here, and this will elevate your feet. And then coming up onto your knees hip distance apart. So remember to work with rather than against your body here. Bring your hands into your heart center. Squeeze the core in, avoid sticking your bum out. Make the back nice and long. And then see about lifting up through your chest. Keep the head looking forwards. Imagine lifting through the sternum, finding space in the upper back. Core still working. Stay with your breath. And you might like to stay here, or for some of you, you may be able to reach back with one arm, grab a hold of your shins or your feet, and then maybe reach back with the other arm, still lifting through the chest. You can keep your chin tucked here, or if your neck feels okay, you can let your chin relax. Wherever you are, let's take 5 breaths. Finding that space in the body. 2. Still working to push the hips forwards. 3. Feel into your own body. 4. 5. Squeeze the core. Lift back up into your kneeling position. And then come down onto your hands and knees. Imagine looking back at a tail that you had, swaying from side to side. Take a moment in the middle and notice how you feel. You could close your eyes. And then come back into your kneeling position. So we're going to do that all one more time. Work with your body rather than against it. You could just stay here, lifting through the chest, pushing the hips forwards, engaging the core. If you're feeling like you have lots of space and you're comfortable, you could untuck the toes, and this will give you a deeper back bend. I'm going to stay with my toes tucked today. So hands in your heart center, engage through the core, back is nice and long, lifting up through the chest. Inhaling and exhaling deeply. So you have the option to do exactly the same as we did last time. Or this time you could reach your left hand behind you and then reach the right arm up, coming into a variation of Ustrasana. Keep pushing your hips forwards and keep your neck stable here. Find that opening in the shoulder, still breathing. And then take your time to come up. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Inhaling, finding the back bend, engaging the core. Exhaling, finding more space. And then reaching the right arm back, lifting the left arm up, finding your position for today. Can you still find full and deep breaths here? Inhaling, reaching back up. Exhaling, coming back into tabletop. Tucking your toes, lifting up to downward facing dog. Keep the knees nice and bent here. Lift the hips high. Take a child's pose if you need to. Notice how you feel. Three more breaths wherever you are. Finding the softness in the body and the breath. When you're ready, gently bending the knees to look forwards. Stepping your feet towards the front of your mat. And taking a cosmic egg position. Squeezing both of your knees, letting your head fall. And then coming back into tabletop from here. So we're going to have a go at our dolphin pose. So you could stay just on the forearms, palms facing the earth, forearms rotated inwards, fingers spread wide so you can see the color of your mat, pressing the elbows down, and then engage the core and avoid dipping out through the back. You might stay here with the toes tucked. If you're feeling okay, you could press the ground away, lift the knees off of the floor, and then look back towards your feet. Keep pressing the earth, lifting up through the shoulders, and keeping the drishti in a comfortable place. 1. Breathing for 2. 3. Can you soften anywhere? 4. Where's your breath? 5. Knees to the ground. Set your hips to your heels. Child's pose. Bring your palms to your sides. Deep breath in here. Deep breath out through the mouth. Inhaling, walk yourself forward into a kneeling plank. Exhaling, come all the way down to the ground. Spread your arms out in a T position, both palms facing the earth. Then press your right hand into the ground and roll over onto your left side. Coming into a shoulder opening pose, I like to call broken wing pose. Find your breath here. Finding space in the 3-dimensional place of your heart. Inhaling, roll back to center, and exhaling, come over to the other side. Right hand presses into the ground and roll over onto the right hand side. It might feel good to close your eyes for a moment and just feel the rhythm of your breath. In your own time, coming back to center, and then taking a flip like you were a pancake, just coming down onto your back. Take a moment here with the knees knocked together in a restful position. So we're going to bring both feet underneath the knees for bridge pose. Taking a breath in here, press the feet into the ground, press the lower back down, and then lift up slowly into bridge. Squeezing the glutes here. You could stay with the palms by your sides, or you could shuffle the shoulders underneath your body, lifting up, finding space. An option to close the eyes. Next exhalation, unclasping and bringing each vertebrae back down to the mat when you are ready. Take a moment here. You have the option to stay with your bridge pose, or if you want to try full wheel pose, you can bring your hands by your ears. Keep the feet hip distance apart. Take a breath in here, come onto the crown of your head, and then as you breathe out, lifting up into wheel pose. Press through the feet, lift the pelvis, extend through the front of the body. Let your gaze settle somewhere between your hands. 2. Can you breathe here? 3. 4, engaging the glutes. And 5, coming back down to your mat, slowly and with care for your body. Again, knock the knees together. Take a moment in your purposeful rest position. So we'll just do one more back bend. You can stay and do this same back bend in your bridge pose. We're going to try lifting one leg alternately. So find your position with your feet. Option to come into wheel and lift your legs. So breathing in, lifting up to bridge, or pressing the crown of the head into the floor and then lifting up. Take a breath here. And then bringing more weight into the right foot. Slowly bring your left knee into your chest. And then as you inhale, lift that left leg up towards the sky. Point the toe, 5 breaths. What's going on in your mind? Can you soften? 3. 4, point the toe higher. And 5, slow as you can, left leg to the ground. Take a moment, don't rush between the sides. Then press the left foot into the earth, lift the right leg high. Coming into the other side, point the toe, lift the leg, straighten the leg. 2. 3, 4, and 5. Bring the foot back down. Carefully come all the way down to the earth, allowing the spine to rest. Bring both of your hands onto your belly, knock the knees together, close the eyes. Imagine you could breathe here and relax the lower back into the floor. Every exhalation, let your spine melt back down into that neutral position. Can you soften the jaw, the shoulders, the muscles of the face? Can you deepen your exhalation? Notice how your back feels here. Any twinging, stay in this position. If it feels okay, you could gently bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a squeeze. Might feel good to massage the back into the earth. Gently extending that left leg all the way away from you. Squeezing the right knee into the body. Releasing, relaxing. Almost time to rest. So let your body and your breath reflect that. Take your time, bring your left sole of your foot to the ground. Externally rotate your right knee, come into figure 4. Staying here or bringing both knees towards the body. Squeezing in. You also could extend that left leg up towards the sky, helping to press the pelvis down into the earth. Maybe closing down the eyes, sensing into the now. Next breath out, releasing, crossing at the knees, and then letting your knees fall over to the left side. Perhaps shifting your hips to the right, then extending your right arm away, finding a twist. Again, can you soften your face, relaxing the body. Gently breathing in, coming back to center, both knees squeezed into the body. And extending your right leg away from you, pressing the heel of the right foot into the ground and squeezing that left knee in. Can you come back to the rhythm of your body, finding that easeful breath? Take your time, bring the right sole of the foot to the ground, come into figure 4, and then bringing both knees into the chest, and maybe extending that right leg towards the sky. Maybe you can feel the whole back of the body pressing down, your breath sending waves through your spine. One last breath here. Exhaling, crossing the knees over each other, shifting your hips over to the left and letting your knees fall over to the right. Maybe extending that left arm, finding your twist on this side. Can you accentuate your exhalation here? So that your breath allows you to deeper sink into this pose. When you are ready, coming back to the center as you inhale. Both knees squeeze into the chest. And then an option to finish your class with a happy baby, bringing the knees down towards the elbows and the armpits. Or to find waterfall where both legs are extended away, palms of the hands facing up. 5 breaths in happy baby or waterfall, intuitively flowing with what your body needs. If the mind is going here and there, very gently bring it back to your breath. Finding that kindness to yourself, even in the way that you do the smallest of actions. Gently and kindly bringing yourself back to this moment. Staying where you are if it feels good, or slowly beginning to rest on the ground in Shavasana. Extending both of the legs away, palms facing up. Sighing out through the mouth. Feeling the unconditional support of the ground underneath you. Can you feel this unconditional support from yourself? Allowing yourself to rest in this place of stillness. Nothing to do but to feel the waves of each breath. This moment, gently sinking down and surrendering. Spending as long as you need here. Feel free to pause this video and take 5, 10 or 15 extra minutes. When you're ready, wiggling your fingers and your toes, finding movement in the body, deepening the breath and stretching the arms and legs away from each other. Gently bringing the knees into the chest and rolling over to the right hand side. Feeling the earth support you from beneath. Pressing up softly into seated. Gently closing the eyes. Feeling the breath here. That unconditional wave of support. Gathering your hands at your heart center. Bringing your mental and physical sides together. And feeling the touch of your palm on your own palm. Connected to yourself. Taking a deep breath in. Exhaling. Inhaling to Om. Bowing your heads towards your hands. Giving thanks for this practice, for your body, for everyone who has gotten you to where you are today, and for the unconditional support of the earth. Namaste. Have a great day. Thank you for joining me.